Have you ever had a day where you're just tired of all the modern conveniences that life has to offer? It would be nice if we could just press pause and turn off some of the things that make our lives so easy, right? Maybe turn off the internet for a few days or disconnect your phone for a week. Well, if you think these are hard things to do, try living 2 million years without any of the conveniences of the modern age. How did people live without fire, tools, or shelter? Humans have been around for about 300,000 years, but humans as we know them today have only been around for about 12,000 years. And during this time, they've invented a lot of stuff. Even before the invention of the wheel, primitive humans were creating tools out of sharp rocks and sticks. They also discovered how to build shelters and keep warm with fires. But how did they get to this point? What was life like before they figured all this stuff out? It might surprise you. Before the invention of the wheel, early humans used their natural environment to obtain the things they needed to survive. For example, they might have used logs to smash rocks into smaller pieces, which could then be used as tools. Or they may have used sticks to poke around in termite mounds to see if they could find some termites to eat. In fact, the earliest evidence of humans using sticks as tools goes back 3.4 million years. And one of the earliest pieces of evidence is found in Kenya and shows clear markings on the ends of sticks that show they were intentionally snapped at that spot. Scientists think that they were probably used as spears to jab at animals to see if they were worth trying to hunt or maybe to jab at small animals to kill them. But what about shelter? After all, there's no way people could have survived the harsh weather conditions without somewhere to hide, right? Wrong. Early humans lived in caves, which were often found on the sides of cliffs or under large rocks. This type of shelter protected them from the wind, rain, and snow, and it also provided a place for them to store their food and keep it safe from predators. Caves were also used as places to sleep because they were dark and secluded. It's not the same as having your own apartment, but hey, it's better than nothing. As far as building their own shelters, scientists have found evidence that shows that some groups of humans built huts out of branches and leaves as early as 8000 BC. But this wasn't the norm for a long time. Building a hut took a lot of work and resources, and most humans were too busy searching for food to spend a lot of time on something like that. Most humans probably slept outside until the late Stone Age when they started to settle down and farm the land. Then they had more time to build nicer shelters. And don't forget, a big part of human development was learning how to start fires. The oldest evidence we have of humans using fire comes from a place called Wonderwork Cave in South Africa. The remains of a fire were found at the bottom of a layer of ash that's about 1 meter deep and dates back 1.5 million years. However, scientists don't agree on whether the fire was started by humans or by natural causes. It's possible that lightning struck a pile of dry grass, leaves, or resin, causing it to burst into flames. But if it was started by humans, this would mean that humans were using fire before they even made stone tools. Some researchers believe that humans started using fire sometime between 1.5 million and 300,000 years ago, while others say it didn't happen until much later. One thing is for sure, though. Fire can be traced back at least 400,000 years, and its benefits quickly became apparent. Fire helped humans cook their food, which made it easier to digest and killed bacteria and parasites that could make them sick. Fire also provided warmth and light, which made it possible for humans to stay active at night and in colder climates. However, until the discovery of how to use fire, humans probably resorted to other methods to keep warm. Some scientists believe that humans huddled together for warmth, while others say that they rubbed parts of their bodies together to generate heat. Humans may have also used animal skins as clothing to stay warm. Evidence of this can be found in a cave in France, where paintings depict humans wearing animal skins as loincloths. When it comes to food, life before fire was not only difficult, but dangerous as well. Cooking food made it safer to eat because it killed harmful bacteria and parasites. Also, cooked food is more easily digested, which meant that humans could get the nutrients they needed to stay healthy and strong. Without cooking, humans would have had to rely on eating raw meat, fruit, and vegetables. And although they could have used stones to crack open nuts and seeds, they would have had to chew each nut and seed individually to get inside them. If they ate sweet fruits, they would have had to rip them apart with their teeth. Not exactly convenient. But humans weren't completely helpless. They had claws, incisors, and molars, which they used to tear apart dead animals. In addition, humans probably scavenged, meaning that they ate the remains of animals that other predators had already killed. Scavenging was risky because there were other animals that wanted to eat the carcass as well. However, it was a good source of food, so humans probably did it anyway. As far as the types of food humans ate, it depended on where they lived. For example, if they lived near water, they would have eaten fish. If they lived in a forest, they would have eaten fruit, nuts, and berries. And if they lived on the plains, they would have eaten grass, roots, and tubers. Hunting was also a possibility, but it was risky because prey animals could run away or fight back. Humans probably started hunting small animals such as rabbits and deer, but as they developed tools, they were able to hunt larger animals such as horses and cows. So we've covered food, shelter, and clothing. Now let's talk about hygiene. How did humans stay clean without running water or toilets? To answer this question, we only need to look at other animals for inspiration. For example, dogs will roll around in the dirt to get rid of parasites and keep their skin healthy. Humans may have done the same thing, but instead of rolling around in the dirt, they may have covered themselves in mud. Mud can help remove dirt and dead skin, and it can also soothe insect bites and cuts. Humans may have also used plants to clean themselves. Plants such as mint and lavender have antibacterial properties and can be used as natural soap. Now, let's discuss reproduction. How did humans have babies without hospitals or doctors? The truth is that humans didn't really have much control over reproduction. Pregnancy lasted about 9 months, and when it was time for the baby to be born, it would be born. There were no hospitals or doctors to help deliver the baby, but older women in the group likely assisted. These older women would have seen many babies being born, so they would have known what to do. They would have helped deliver the baby and made sure both the mother and baby were healthy. The first 2 years of a baby's life were probably the most dangerous. Most babies died within the first 2 years of life due to diseases such as pneumonia and diarrhea. If the baby did survive past the age of 2, they would have a much better chance of living to adulthood. Childhood was also different. Children were expected to help out around camp, so they started doing things like gathering food and making tools at a very young age. In fact, children were considered adults once they reached the age of 15. One last thing we should discuss is how humans communicated with each other. Humans use language to communicate. But what did they use before they developed language? It's likely that early humans used a combination of gestures, facial expressions, and sounds to communicate. Over time, humans developed more complex languages and writing systems. But in the early days, communication was much simpler. So now you know how early humans managed to survive without fire, tools, or shelter. It's amazing how far humans have come in just a few thousand years. From using sticks as tools to inventing the wheel, humans have always been innovating and finding new ways to make life easier. Hopefully, this video has given you a new appreciation for the conveniences that you enjoy every day.